What's up, YouTube? I am back with some cool stuff to talk about today. Hopefully, everybody is interested. Without any further ado, this is TNN. I am Rems, and we're gonna jump right into it. So, the first topic today is actually going to be a movie review. This will probably be my first movie review. Um, Definitely won't be my last. I plan to do some book reviews as well because I want to give you guys some added value. And I'm sure you guys could benefit from any good information that I receive. So, I'm definitely going to do that in the future. But today we're going to do a movie review. And today's movie we're going to be talking about is, drum roll, it's going to be about Leave the World Behind. I saw this Netflix movie the other night, and it caught my attention. Like, it really did. And at first, I'm thinking this is gonna be like some sci-fi thriller. It is definitely a psychological thriller, and it is interesting nonetheless. Some of the actors in here you'll probably recognize, like Kevin Bacon, huge movie star, as well as Julia Roberts, Ethan Hawke, um, Maher- Mahershala Ali. Please forgive me if I butchered that name. Those were some of the major names in there. Of course, there were other actors, but those were the big ones that stood out. Particularly Mahershala Ali and Julia Roberts. They kind of headed this off, as well as Ethan Hawke. I believe he played the husband of Julia Roberts. Now, forgive me for saying this, but I actually get Ethan Hawke and Kevin Bacon mixed up sometimes. I'm not saying that all white people look alike, but these particular actors, I feel like they could be related. They got the same kind of facial structure, and to a certain extent, almost to me, a same kind of acting style. So they're very hard for me to kind of distinguish. So if I made that mistake and said that he acted as the husband, vice versa, forgive me. That's not important. What's important about this movie is that it is freaking weird, right? And like anyone else who might have been watching this movie, I personally assumed that this was just a movie made by some director that was, probably well known because of the actors that played in the movie, but was not like, like Michael Bay or somebody like that. Like they're not somebody, who has done big projects. Is what I was thinking. That's my assumption after watching the movie. Do I think the movie was good? Do I think the movie was bad? It's weird. The movie kind of starts off with this couple. And I don't want to give a spoiler alert because I'm not going to, but I'm going to give you the main points. It starts off with this couple kind of randomly going back to a house that they used to own. Now, when you're watching this, you think this is important, but it really isn't. The real important part is that you just need to know that this is some kind of doomsday scenario. Things have happened. People, people cannot get around or move or can't get information. That's a big deal. One of the other things you see, without giving a spoiler alert, I believe this was in the trailer, but you see these big, I want to say these big ships crashing onto a beach. And I mean, at first, people are kind of laying there and chilling, right? Like, okay, there's a big ship and it's coming towards shore. But then they realize that this ship does not give two F's about who's in the water. It is coming to shore and it's coming fast. And when it docks there, everybody just leaves. You're going to notice a lot of scenes in this movie go unexplained. And you're only going to get more information through the characters' dialogue. But what we find from Mahershala Ali after a while, when he's talking to Julia Roberts, is that basically something bad has happened. And the reason why Mahershala Ali is thinking this in the movie, and his name is George, by the way, in the movie, is because he's had talks with his friends who are of the elite, and they've made plenty of jokes about when things hit the fan, XYZ. Well, he told a story about him making a similar joke to kind of play into it, only this time, during this particular time period, George's friend didn't laugh. And this was one of the eerie moments in the movie where you kind of get it. There's also things happening in the movie that I'm going to just flat out say it. Even the most recent thing that happened in Israel, this is the part that kind of spooked me out. What happened in Israel when they issued that warning for people in the Gaza to leave, they sent flyers. Like, they dropped flyers. Well, in this movie, the same exact thing happened. They dropped flyers, and apparently there's flyers coming from all different types of countries. And one of them that the boy was able to translate, one of the boys in the film that plays Julia Roberts' son, the son of Amanda, he basically is able to interpret it from his past video game play, I guess, with people from overseas. He's able to interpret it as death to America. That raises a red flag. Another guy in the movie says things like, certain quotes are going to stick with you. Another quote in the movie is, the guy says, one of the guys who they're trying to get medicine from, or trying to get help from for his son, and they're trying to bribe him with money that is useless. He basically says that, when they tell him about when they've discovered that they've gotten messages from different countries, he basically says, well, we've made a lot of enemies. America's made a lot of enemies. So this movie, off rip, if you don't know anything about anything, this movie is about some sort of attack. Some people are saying that this is about a cyber attack. Some people are saying this is about an EMP attack. I'd like to go a bit further. This is like when shit hits the fan. And it's very, very peculiar because you do witness an EMP attack, right? So all cars, all electric cars, all services, phones, nothing works. Another quote in the movie that's stated by the husband of Amanda, Clay, is that he says that I'm completely useless. I am like a useless specimen without my phone. All these things just kind of go on in the movie. I'm going to fast forward to some of the other things that are going to kind of spook you out. This girl, the daughter of Julia Roberts, man, she spooks me out the most. Because this whole time, while all this crap, everything that you could possibly think of is going wrong, her brother's teeth is falling out as a reaction to the EMP. All this sounds very crazy. And all she can think about is finishing her season of Friends or something like that. I want to say it was like Rick and Morty at first, but she's basically concerned about TV. That's it. And when she's asked that by her brother, she's basically like, well, it's the only thing that makes me happy. That makes sense. The reason why I think the girl is important, because I think she's a symbolic character of how the average American goes about. I had some time to think about this after I watched it and after hearing some things. Oh, newsflash, by the way. Now, the real reason why I can't just dismiss this as a really bad conspiracy theory film, which is what I did when I initially saw it, especially after seeing the last scene. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. But what I will say is that it did leave me thinking, man, okay, that didn't make any sense. It was really weird. Okay, thank you for making us think. But after hearing that this movie was executive produced by Obama, President Obama, former President Obama, it really made me feel weird because there were a lot of things talked about in that movie One in particular is the most efficient way to bring down a country. And it's like three steps. It's like isolation, misinformation, and then a coup d'etat, which is, you know, and the reason why I thought that was kind of peculiar is because that's an actual thing. That's an actual thing in real life. Who's used it? Let's take a guess. Let's take a guess. And supposedly a lot of what went down in the movie was consulted. I mean, they went to Obama and they consulted him about how things would actually go down in the event of XYZ, which is another reason why, again, it kind of gives me the creeps that, you know, this is how it played out, because a lot of it was very confusing. There was a lot of misinformation, and the steps by which they described those sequences of how they efficiently take down the country was exactly what you got to see in play. But you got to see it from the outside looking in, not from like you're watching a country, you know, plot and do these things. No, you got to see it from the victim side, from, hey, if we were in America, what would it look like, this and that. We already experienced mass misinformation. COVID completely exposed us and showed how divided and how reckless we become when we receive misinformation. I don't know if people remember, but people were getting shot at their jobs for telling people to wear masks during COVID. And that's not like a one-off incident. People were literally getting shot. Security guards, you know, administrators, people who work in offices, people were getting shot for telling a person to wear their mask. This is why the movie was disturbing after hearing that, okay, Obama had something to do with it. Because obviously it had some validity. Obviously Obama's like, you know, really kind of trying to, I think he wants to tell us something, you know. I think he's a man who has a lot of secrets from being in the presidency and is probably willing to tell us as much as he can without violating any, you know, secret clearances or whatever like that. But yeah, if you watch the movie, the music is mad spooky. Some of the dialogue is just kind of really all over the place. It really distracts you to make you think that this movie is about something else half the time. But in real life, if you pay attention to some of the details that are happening, again, I'm not going to spoil alert this thing, but if you pay attention to this movie, you're going to get a feeling after a while. You're going to get this real deep feeling of this don't feel right. Nothing feels right. You know, and yeah, just thinking about it kind of gives me goosebumps because it makes me think about, wow, is this what a cyber attack is going to look like in, you know, in modern times? We don't know because we've never been in one. Now, have we as U.S. U.S. Army have we ever been in anything like that? Have we ever done that? That's the thing that I thought about after watching that movie, is that, okay, if some of this stuff is true and they got it from government people, first question that should come to anybody's mind with common sense is, have we done this already? Have we done this to someone else? And I'm actually scared to do the research because I don't want to know. I really don't want to know if we had something to do like this. So I kind of wanted to comment on that. I wanted to get everybody else's comments on this. And please share and let me know what you thought about this creepy movie, Leave the World. It was really creepy. The next thing I want to talk about, I shed light on my last video. I know it's been a while since I put up another video, but guys, I'm not just gonna put up videos about just celebrity gossip and, you know, stuff that I see other bloggers are doing. If they go left, I'm gonna try to go right. Of course, there's some things that I have to touch on, but again, I'm gonna keep on going into this direction because I feel like going into 2024, everybody needs to be concerned about where the economy is, and how jobs are looking. So I'm going to talk about deflation next, right? So I got some notes here. Now, a lot of economists and investors are very happy with November's numbers. According to them, they were expecting about 190,000 jobs to be added to the market, which is okay, fair, up from 155,000 last month. Well, they were very optimistic to find that 199,000 jobs were added to the market. Now, I know that I got on here last time and I was lamenting about, all the guys on Reddit in the recruiting hell section talking about how they see something completely different. And I want to tell you again that I started that video out saying that it's not that jobs aren't out there in the market. It's just that, in particular, the two industries that are probably getting just like murdered right now is IT and finance. And I said that, and I'm sticking with that. And these numbers prove that. According to the numbers, these were the industries that experienced growth in the last month: hospitality, healthcare, and motor vehicle. Now, of course, those correspondingly gained jobs. Hospitality gained 40,000 jobs. Healthcare gained 76,000 jobs. Motor vehicles gained 30,000 jobs. Notice that IT and finance are nowhere to be found. That's a big, big, big flag. So for people like me who are in the tech industry or others who are in the finance industry, you are feeling the brunt. If you have a job, you are clinging on to it till your knuckles turn white. And if you don't have a job, you are fighting. You are fighting for your life out here. You might be working at a Target or something that's outside of your discipline, whether it's computer science, management, information systems, finance, you name it. If you got a Series 7 or 6.3, whatever, if you are in finance or IT right now, I would not be surprised to find you working at a Walmart or at a Home Depot or something, just something to get by, because right now nobody's hiring in those areas. And the few people that are hiring, the salaries are competitive, and more companies are laying off those in that industry than they are hiring. And we also see that the average earnings for the average American stayed completely the same. And this is all while, China is experiencing huge price drops in fuel. So we see it kind of going through around the world, and it's kind of hitting us a little bit too. And we're still trying to come down, from inflation. Again, economists see numbers like unemployment. Unemployment went from 3.9% to 3.7%. So economists are like, good, we're doing our thing. The Fed wants to see the inflation rate go down to 2%. I think current inflation actually matched the job numbers at 3.7%. Let me see. Current inflation rate. I checked this. Okay, so it's 3.1% right now. So that means more people have to lose their jobs before we see any kind of interference from the Fed. If the Fed sees huge signs of deflation early, I think in 2024, we'll probably see them step in. But until then, more heads have to roll. And it's not going to be pretty. And this is bad news for my fellow, IT people and finance people. This is bad news for you. The good news is that if you're looking to go into another industry, you can always drive a truck. You can always try to work for a hospital, pick up a new discipline. There are definitely disciplines in the medical field that don't require a degree. Just like IT, you get a certification and work as an anesthesiologist and stuff like that, I believe. So it's rough, man, because even if you do switch industries, the pay is not matching up to the prices. Prices are coming down, but they're not coming down fast enough. And I'm afraid that it's going to be a rougher Christmas for people than, or at least for some people. Some people who probably had it really good, because people who make money in the tech field, in the finance field, make good money. And those people who probably had some of the best years prior to this are probably experiencing the worst year. If I had to say it, I know me personally, not going to get into my personal bag, but let's just say I could feel it. That's why I'm talking about it. So I just want people to be aware and on the know, and not going to get crazy political with this, other than, it just sucks that it takes half of middle America to fall out before it becomes an emergency. But people who live in poverty and who already come from low income families and don't have that much saved up, they're hurt. They're gonna get hurt the most if they don't have an emergency fund. And I'm learning that having one is probably the best thing you can do in your life. Is having, forget 1,000. You need to have you need to have more than $5,000 put aside for an emergency. I'm telling you that right now. Because the reason why I say that is because $1,000 is not even going to pay rent. You're lucky if $1,000 gets you through a month. You need enough money to pay for at least 3 months. Because that's how long it's taking the average person to find a salary position now. And unemployment doesn't even pay you a fourth of what you make. So, yeah. Sorry to be kind of like, on a downer. I guess these aren't the most positive topics, but this is what I have for you. This is what I can speak on. This is what I'm passionate about. And hopefully, you guys can chime in. This is not a one-way conversation. Feel free to chime in, give me comments, give me something I can build off of. Let me know y'all out there watching me. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And yeah, I'm going to holler at y'all, and I'll try to keep these videos more frequent, but I'm not going to regurgitate garbage to you guys. I want to make sure I give you something new, something fresh, something different. But till then, this is TNN, your boy Rems, and I'm signing out. Y'all be easy. Happy holidays. Enjoy your Christmas, and Happy New Year's if I don't hear from y'all again before that. Be easy.